Hey guys, so as of 21 minutes ago, seeing as though it's 9:25 a.m. on this Friday, April 23rd, as of 21 minutes ago, we've gotten back to semi-normalcy as far as my channel is concerned. And you can tell that just by me walking around doing this video. And the reason I say that is because usually my mom leaves about an hour and a half earlier than this to go to work because we live here in the Central Valley and her job takes place at the ending, or at least in one of the last towns of the Alameda County. So she has to drive from here to there just to go to work. And she's got to, deal with traffic. She's got to go through the Altamont Pass, stuff like that. So when I say back to semi-normalcy, today, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, she and other teachers were asked to come back to work early so they can get back into the groove of things, because originally they were supposed to do parent-teacher conferences today, but because of what happened last week, they had to reschedule them for next week. Now, just to kind of recap on what I'm talking about, what happened that basically caused this all to, occur, all this changing and all that to occur. Long story short, there was a student, young student at my mom's school that, got exposed. She didn't test positive or negative. She didn't come in, direct contact or anything like that. She didn't contract it, but she came into proximity and got exposed to family, to relatives during the Easter holiday that did test positive for the virus. Even though she didn't, she did come in proximity of exposure to them. So because of that, the school, out of precaution, had to shut down for at least 2 weeks, or a little less than 2 weeks, about 10, 11 days, if you will. So because of that, the teacher, the head person in charge, or one of the head people in charge, contacted my mom and the other teachers just a couple of days ago and told them that, hey, they have to come back on Friday so they can get back into the groove of things. They can get things reorganized, stuff like that. But she did give them the opportunity to come in a little later, seeing as though this was something that they didn't expect to happen. So instead of basically, scheduling them to come in at a regular time, kind of still playing into the fact that, yeah, you're supposed to be off right now, I'll let you come in a lot later, which is why, like I said, at the beginning, we were 21 minutes back into a return of normalcy because of the fact that my mom was scheduled, or is scheduled, I should say, to be at her job around 10 o'clock to help get back into the groove of things. Because, as I mentioned, I believe, parent-teacher conferences were supposed to take place this week, but because of what happened, they got rescheduled to, next week. Now, some of you might say, well, Brian, you shouldn't. Now, some of you might point out that I shouldn't have had to, kind of act different a little bit, kind of talk low, or whatever the case may be, stay up late, get up early, and do all videos or live streams. And you'd be right. You would be absolutely right. But let me explain something. Okay, let me explain something. And I said this in the video yesterday. Let me explain something, okay? My mom is a very inquisitive person. A lot of us have parents. A lot of us have siblings. A lot of us have aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, whatever the case may be, that are inquisitive. They are curious about things. They like to ask questions and hopefully get answers. Stuff like that. And that's how my mom is. And that's not a bad thing. Believe me, it's not a bad thing. But it is something that if you're trying to monetize your channel, make a living off your channel, at least get some income coming in from your channel, and one of your primary ways of doing that is, let's say, a podcast that you do live on YouTube that you're going to convert to audio for your audio podcast on places like Anchor and Spotify and Stitcher and iTunes. It does become a little inconvenient because, you got to work around the situation. I mean, again, I brought him up several times when I've talked about this. Just Alex 6, formerly Deluxe Man. He's dealt with this on several occasions. He lives with family, and there have been numerous times where he's been interrupted by family. Heck, in some of my recent videos where I'm trying out the G Fuel, if you will, that was recommended by Angry Joe and sponsors the Angry Joe show, there were several times you would hear me, communicate to my mom. Like, you wouldn't really necessarily hear her voice, but you would hear me communicate. And that's something that, again, not a problem, but it is inconvenient. Which is why when word got to her, I should say not around, but when word got to her that she was going to go back today, not at regular time, but at a time to where they may not be there for many hours. They may only be there for a couple of hours and that's it. But to help them get back into the groove of things, help them get them prepped and ready for parent-teacher conferences next week, to me that was a blessing in disguise, because not only does she get to go back to work and kind of, get back into the groove of things, even if it's only going to be for a short time. For me and my channel, it opens the door, if you will, to kind of get back to normal, to do things without interruption. So that's why when I say we're back to today, we return to semi-normal, it's because it's not totally normal. That won't be till Monday, but we're at a semi-normal pace where it feels like, yeah, I can do things, I can do videos and stuff uninterrupted, but there's still a little bit of that unexpectedness, that little out of the sorts kind of deal, because of the fact that it's not like a regular Monday through Friday day, if you know what I mean. So anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to come on here and state that yes, as of today, we are returning to semi-normalcy, and that Monday we'll be back to full normalcy, hopefully without any situations going on. Again, there was nothing my mom or her fellow teachers could do when this news broke. They just had to follow protocol for safety reasons. And I know some of you might say that point out that, well, if the kid wasn't exposed, or the kid wasn't, what I'm trying to say is, I know some of you might think, well, wait a minute, if the kid didn't test positive or negative, or didn't, contract it, then why even close down the school? And again, here's the thing. I and others understand that, but here's the point. Even though she may have not tested negative or positive, or even contracted the virus, she came in a proximity exposure of it because of relatives, and you don't want to, and if you're a business or a school in this case, you don't want to risk the chance that something may come out of it, especially since we're trying to get out of this tail end of this pandemic and back to normal as far as this country and this state of California is concerned. So, anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to let you know about that. And again, today's a return to semi-normal, and Monday will be a full back to normal. So let me know what your thoughts are. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Stay safe. God bless. Get vaccinated. And I am out.